Easy guys, Dom here from Cringy Dad Gaming. So, if like me, you're a fan of From Software games, and even branched out into Souls-like games such as Neo, Mortal Shell and The Surge, you might want to put this game on your radar. Let's talk about Lies of P, a game based on the children's tale of Pinocchio. No lie. So, Pinocchio is a story originally penned by the Italian writer Carlo Collodi in the late 1800s and was later adapted into a movie by Walt Disney in 1940. History lessons. In a nutshell, under the guidance of his insect friend Jiminy Cricket, Pinocchio experiences a series of incredible adventures on his way to becoming a real boy. He is deterred from deceit in his new life by his nose, which grows longer
every time he tells a lie.
So that's the premise of the original story. That's, in a nutshell, what it's about. But how are the developers gonna spin that story in a dark fantasy game set in a very Souls-like universe? South Korean publisher and developer NeoWiz has taken a different spin on this classic tale. They're going for a darker theme to the fairy tale and what seems to be set in the early Victorian era. There are influences from that period, and I can't help but get hints of Bloodborne and Greedfall in the game's stylings. I feel that Lies of P gives you an uneasy feeling while playing it, and that's mainly due to the creepy mechanical enemies that almost remind me of late Victorian wind-up toys. The graphics and attention to detail in the game are really nice, and this is captured on PlayStation 5 in 4K. The game looks crisp and I like the colours and just the overall tone of how the game looks. For me, graphics are quite an important part of the overall experience of these types of games. Although it doesn't feel as dark in its textures as games such as Bloodborne or maybe some of the Dark Souls games, it still has that darker tone. I started to play the Lies of P demo pretty much straight after coming from Demon Souls, and I can say that there was no change really in how the controls felt. From me playing Demon Souls to then jumping in blind into this game and not really knowing what the controls were going to be like. For me, it wasn't jarring at all. The controls felt responsive and familiar for this type of game. The combat did feel less punishing than other FromSoft games that I've played, but this is a demo level, and to be honest with you, the layout and the difficulties of the enemies could be very different in the final release. So in the game, Pinocchio looks like a real boy, very human looking, but with a prosthetic arm. I have no idea at this point what might be under the skin, but from what I can tell, the arm can be upgraded to become a formidable weapon in your arsenal and is known as a Legion arm. Linked to the ability to upgrade your arm is 4 slots to add parts that seem to act as armour. Although not visible on the outside, I assume these parts are inner workings and can be replaced to increase stats such as defense. Pinocchio also has 2 amulet slots, and again I'm guessing it will be like rings in Dark Souls games, where they will give you changeable buffs depending on the said amulet. All the usual offerings are available, such as various potions and items to help heal you or hinder others, such as thermite bombs. You get to choose from 3 different combat styles at the start of the game. More could be added in the final release, I'm not sure. Each class has a different sword style, and Pinocchio starts with different stats depending on which class you choose. Once you're out there and start killing enemies, you accrue ergo, which is likened to the souls you collect in From Software games. These can be spent at stargazers, which again act like bonfires from Dark Souls. Here you can spend that ergo to level up P's attributes. If you die, you drop your ergo and have to reclaim it. It is a familiar system we have become accustomed to in many of those Souls-like games that I've mentioned earlier. There seems to be some deeper mechanics surrounding lies, which ties in nicely to the lore of Pinocchio, but I have yet to experience this system in the game, but it has piqued my interest. I can't really go too deep into my feelings on the game so far, because the demo is just a small slice of the whole game, so I have no idea either what the story elements are going to be like. Although the combat so far is pretty appealing to me and does feel nice to play, and I like the overall look and tone of the game's design. So, tell me, what are your feelings about the game? Are you looking forward to playing as Pinocchio?
Can you grow a big nose?
Let me know in the comments below.